Welcome back. Well, the Public Service Association is outraged that no action has been taken against the Sassa Regional Executive Manager. Themba Matlo has been implicated in the misuse of state funds, abuse of power, as well as victimizing his staff. So to discuss this, I'm joined now by the National Manager of the Public Service Association, Claude Naiker. Claude, thanks a lot for joining us this morning. It is a bizarre case. It's one that the Public Protector, was asked to investigate in 2018. Have you received any findings from that request to investigate?
Very good morning to you. No, we haven't. And surprisingly that Sassa themselves have conducted their own investigation. And an investigation report is out, which certain recommendations have been made and nothing to date has been done. Public Protector, as early as 2018, was also given information regarding these irregularities, but they kept on indicating that there's still investigation. A year has gone by and nothing has been done as well.
You're talking about how the department conducted its own investigation. What were some of those findings from the report that they had?
There were a number of allegations, and obviously the Regional Executive Manager was at the heart of these investigations. The recommendations was very clear, clearly articulated in the investigation report, that disciplinary action should be taken against certain managers in the region. What was of particular concern to us was the irregular appointments regarding recruitment and selection of employees that did not meet certain requirements.
And we're talking here about there's allegations around how he hired his two girlfriends and placed them in certain positions, allegedly.
Allegedly, this was brought to our attention. The report very clearly indicates that prior to the post even being advertised, these so-called individuals had applied for these posts. And also what was very clearly stated in the report, that they did not meet the minimum requirements of this post, yet they were appointed to these so-called posts.
There are certain other allegations that were also leveled against Mr. Matlo there. Then one of the allegations was around how he allegedly used resources of the department in itself, or Sassa resources, to actually propel or fund a campaign for a position in Gauteng for the African National Congress.
This was also brought to the attention to the PSA by employees, but surprisingly, this issue, I thought was very important, was not in the investigation report. And when we asked the CEO about this, she said she's still investigating. This prompted us last week. We've written to her twice in a space of 3 months. No response whatsoever from her. This prompted us to write to the minister and said, listen, we need answers very urgently.
What has the minister said as a result?
Well, she hasn't responded. We just wrote to her last week, and we're hoping that we will receive a response early by next week.
Do you think that Themba is enjoying certain favors or political protection?
It's clearly evident because the Office of the Public Protector seemed to be dragging its feet. Sassa themselves seems reluctant to take action. The report is in very simple format. It gives clearly recommendations as what should be done after the investigation. It's either he's receiving special protection or somebody is scared to tackle this matter head on.
But then you're speaking about the Public Protector here, and actually the Office of the Public Protector is not supposed to be political or party biased for that matter. It's supposed to bring issues that have been brought forward by the public in the interest of protecting the very same public. And so therefore, do you think that the Public Protector is compromised in this investigation?
Clearly so. The PSA is very aptly involved and lobbying Parliament at this stage to say, listen, that the Public Protector is not fit for office, and we'll be making recommendations to the parliamentary process with regard to her fitness. Employees belong to the Office of the Public Protector, belong to the PSA, and they've leveled a lot of allegations against the Public Protector, which is being investigated at this moment in time.
Let's talk a little bit about the state now of Themba, of the Executive Regional Director. Is he still working? He's still at work? He still comes to work, still enjoys the benefits, etc.? And how's the relationship like with employees?
Well, we've got information, reliable information, that employees that have taken up issues against him were suspended. Some of them were victimized. He is still at work. And surprisingly, in Sassa, when you get junior officials committing simple misconduct, they are either suspended or they are subjected to disciplinary processes. These are serious allegations. The first thing that Sassa should have done was that place the so-called official on suspension, investigate the matter, and then come up with the findings or take decisive action. Nothing to date has been done with this official.
So let me ask you this in 30 seconds. If you should be ignored once again, what will you do?
Well, at the moment, we've been trying to please employees not to go on industrial action because they've been banned to go on industrial action. And we said to them, let us exhaust all internal remedies and then we will advise you accordingly. We cannot, sort of stop these employees any longer. We're going to find it very difficult to try and appease them on the ground.
Claude Naiker, thanks a lot for joining us, shedding some light in terms of what the developments are on the Executive Regional Director at Sassa.